John 6:54. Ha trogon mu tein sarka, kai pinon mu ta haima, eche zoein ionion, kago anastaso alton, te escate hemera. Here Jesus continues to shock this somewhat skeptical and hostile crowd with the things he says about himself. And he says, the one who eats my flesh and drinks my blood has eternal life, and I will raise him on the last day. Let's look at this construction here at the beginning. We have a singular article and we have a singular substantive. It's a substantive use of the participle. Another singular substantive use of the participle connected by kai. Maybe in the back of your mind you're thinking of the famous grammarian Granville Sharp. Granville Sharp, who observed when you have a singular article that governs multiple singular substantives connected by kai, we should usually understand those as referring to the same person. And that's certainly the case here. Right? This is not two people. It's not person one who eats his flesh and person two who drinks his blood. This is one person. The person, Jesus says, who eats my flesh and drinks my blood. That's one person. That person has eternal life. And I, that kago is from a crash of kai and ego. You may remember that's called crossus, and that crash is marked by that little coronus, that little crown, the coronus over where those two words have combined. This anastaso, as soon as you see the sta or the stay, you say to yourself, I think this is from histemi. And indeed it is. It is from the, actually the compound anistemi, but that stay or sta is from histemi. So I will raise him. I will raise him up. I will raise him up on the last day. I want to say one thing about that trogon. I think some of you were sort of shocked by that because you would have thought maybe it was building on the second aorist of estheo. You'd think something with the root of ephagon, or maybe you would think of hope to find something with estheo. But instead we have this word you probably most of you don't know, the verb trogo. Trogo. If you look it up in a lexicon, trogo, it means to chew, to munch, to nibble. And so I once had an email conversation with someone about whether this was significant. Is this significant that John uses this? But if you look at John's style, his idiolect, he loves to vary with near synonyms. He does it all over the place with all sorts of different words. So I really think this is just another example of his particular idiolect, and I would not read any significance into the variation of the verb for eating here as opposed to the previous verse.